Now, the president-elect will carry over 50 people from the Obama administration. We're told to help him until Trump's team is fully in place. Tell us about the work that goes on behind the scenes, Congressman, in terms of what goes on to ensure this smooth transition.
Well, obviously, they've had lots of conversations over the last 3 months. Congressman Pompeo has indicated, there's been a close transition, working relationship between him and, the director of the CIA, Brennan. You've got that going on in all of the departments, Homeland Security and those types of things, just to make sure that, you're moving. Think about it. You're not only changing 4,000 to 5,000 people, but the country is moving in a different direction. You've got people that 3 months ago were fighting each other in a campaign, and now they've got to say, all right, you're in charge, and we're going to help you do it. And the indications are there have been some hiccups, but overall, when it comes to security issues, they've pretty much been seamless. And the important thing is at the grassroots, the cop on the street, making sure that they're still coordinated and nothing changes there.
I just want to add on that the fact that there are those 50 essential State Department and national security staffers from the Obama administration who are staying. The New York Times wrote this, what I found to be incredibly negative article about the Trump administration being behind the 8 ball. They're not ahead in their planning. 29 of 660 executive department appointments so far. And it just on Inauguration Day, to write an article like that got into the granular and turned it into a big negative.
Well, and the other part of this is the obstacle by the Democrats, because you talked about Mike Pompeo, but the only people that it seems that Schumer's trying to push through is Mattis and Kelly. So we're far behind in the sense of the confirmation hearings and these approvals. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, going back to the New York Times thing, if Donald Trump and his administration feel that they need some help, hallelujah. And for the Obama people to say, of course we're going to stay and make sure that America's safe. That's something to celebrate, not to criticize.
Right, and it's something that was if there's a rift between the outgoing and the incoming president, that's where there's been overlap. And Obama has talked about that, about we've offered help, and there it is.
But, the key is that the media have just is refusing to accept Donald Trump as the president. I mean, whether it's the New York Times or the Washington Post or even CNN. I mean, some of the stories that I've seen are just appalling, and in many cases not true.
Yeah,
how about that story about Rick Perry that was in the New York Times about he didn't understand the job that he was accepting, which their one source on that backed off of it.
But we got to go back to the fact that there is this obstruction right now. When Obama became president, there were 7 cabinet members who were confirmed. We need to ensure that not only our national security officials are pushed forward and confirmed quickly, but also our Treasury Secretary, our Commerce Secretary. I mean, it makes the transition process easier, because I do say going through the transition process back in 2000 with Bush, it's chaotic. It takes a while to fill all these 4,000 spots, and you're going to need continuity.
But it's leadership. I mean, Chuck Schumer is calling it the swamp cabinet.
Yeah, but, the American people are going to be on Donald Trump's side.
Yeah.
Sometime next week, he will tweet out, why is the Senate leaving to go on a retreat? Why are they not working on the weekend? We need to get these cabinet secretaries in place so that we can make America great again.
That's true.
And if they want to vet these people more, go ahead, but just work a work harder and get it done.
Yeah, that's what he'll do.
President Trump is going to name names, though, as he has with Chuck Schumer. He's not going to say the Senate. He's going to call people out by name.
Yeah, and that's the difference. I mean, the uncertainty or, unpredictability of Donald Trump will keep people on their toes.
Absolutely. And you've worked with Mike Pompeo. I mean, what changes do you expect in the intelligence community with this new administration?
I think Mike Pompeo will bring it back to being an intelligence community and not a political operation. I know John Brennan. I knew him from the first time we had the underwear bomber flying into Detroit. He comes at this from a political angle. I think Mike Pompeo is going to say, I'm doing nothing but getting great intelligence, building a great intelligence network. I will present you with the information. Mr. President, you and your team come out with a policy, but my job is just to give you great information.
This is a really important point that you're bringing up, because whether you look at the intelligence community or the Department of Justice or the IRS, many of these agencies have been politicized. How soon does that start rolling back?
That is so right, because the Obama administration was driven, and President Obama was driven by a social agenda and a political agenda, not results.
Right.
not making people's lives better. And that ultimately is like, make people trust the IRS again.
Right.
That's going to be a focus.
But Koskinen refused to step down, and we know that the IRS targeted conservatives.
That's right.
And I mean, this is, you know, if you don't pay your taxes, you go to jail.
Right.
I mean, so that's a scary thing for somebody. And
you know, Donald Trump was not at war with the intelligence community. He was at war with their leadership.
Yeah.
Which are political appointees.
Which are political appointees.
Yeah.
Yes. And he will support the men and women in the field.
So you think they will be able to unpoliticize these agencies in a quick
It all comes from the top, and
yeah.
yes, I think they will.
Congressman, good to see you.
Good to be with you.
Thank you so much.
Great day.
Hoekstra joining us there.